Where's Stuhal, me and Freyon, and welcome to another video. Well, this is exactly the reason why I left academia after a couple of years of my PhD studies. I had always wanted to become an academic, a Tolkien-esque academic, teaching at university, teaching Old English and writing various books on the Old English literature and on Tolkien. But it just so happened that the focus of academia in my own country, well, was directed elsewhere, of course, towards feminist literature and African American literature of all things in the heart of Europe. You would think, who cares? But yeah, the academics here do. It's not my cup of tea, and there were not enough opportunities for me to grow academically, so that's why I left. But if there are academics who actually do care about Tolkien these days, they of course need to join the throng and focus mainly on diversity and bow to the gods of inclusion and representation. And this, or by doing this, really turn away from what Tolkien originally intended, and that is to write an epic narrative, a myth, a legend for modern England, which he did achieve to do. I'm only glad that he's dead already, that he can't see this, because this would kill him. Well, let's dive into the article, and you will know what I'm talking about. So the Tolkien Society Summer Seminar 2021 will focus on Tolkien and diversity. Well, surprising? No. The Tolkien Society's second seminar of 2021 will have a focus on Tolkien and diversity. The Tolkien Society describes their seminars as short academic conferences of both researcher-led and non-academic presentations on a specific theme pertaining to Tolkien scholarship. Well, there were times in the past when I would be excited if I could join one of these conferences and seminars. Not anymore. I have in my life had many speeches on Tolkien on one topic or another, but none of them focused on something as insignificant for literature as freaking diversity and inclusion. Well, as noted above, the theme for the second seminar of 2021 is Tolkien and diversity. The Tolkien Society previously put out a call for papers on the subject that will be discussed during the seminar. They explained, spurred by recent interpretations of Tolkien's creations and the cast list of the upcoming Amazon show The Lord of the Rings, it is crucial we discuss the theme of diversity in relation to Tolkien. They elaborated. How do adaptations of Tolkien's work, from film and art to music, open a discourse on diversity within Tolkien's works and his place within modern society? Beyond the secondary world, diversity further encompasses Tolkien's readership and how his texts exist within the primary world. Who is reading Tolkien? How is he understood around the globe? How may these new readings enrich current perspectives on Tolkien? From there, the Tolkien Society stated, representation is now more important than ever, and Tolkien's efforts to represent or ignore particular characteristics requires further examination. Additionally, how a character's identity shapes and influences its place within Tolkien's secondary world still requires greater attention. They then explain the purpose of the seminar. This seminar aims to explore the many possible applications of diversity within Tolkien's works, his adaptations, and his readership. The Tolkien Society then prompted a number of topics that papers should focus on. They included representation in Tolkien's works, race, gender, sexuality, disability, class, religion, age, etc. Tolkien's approach to colonialism and post-colonialism, adaptations of Tolkien's works, diversity and representation in Tolkien academia and readership, identity within Tolkien's works, alterity in Tolkien's works. The submission deadline for papers was April 23rd, and they have already announced the papers that will be discussing during the seminar. Which takes place between July the 3rd and July the 4th. The titles of the papers that will be discussed include Gondor in Transition, a brief introduction to transgender realities in The Lord of the Rings. You fucking sick bastards. You idiots. If you are so insecure about your own identity, you can bugger off and go deal with your weakness by yourself, and don't drag this bullshit into Tolkien's work. The problem of pain, portraying physical disability in the fantasy of J.R.R. Tolkien. The Burned Hand teaches most about fire, applying traumatic stress and ecological frameworks to narratives of displacement and resettlement across cultures in Tolkien's Middle-earth. The ecological aspect I would understand. The Invisible Other, Tolkien's dwarf women and the feminine lack, projecting Indian myths, culture and history onto Tolkien's worlds. The Lossoth, indigeneity, identity and anti-racism. The problematic perimeters of Elrond, half Elven, and Roland, English Catholic. Hearkening to the Other. Athrabeth, Finrod, Andreth. Pardoning Saruman, the queer in Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. What the fuck? Can you explain what this means? The queer in Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. What does that have to do with Saruman? Desire of the Ring, an Indian academic's adventures in her quest for the perilous realm. Who cares? Queer atheists, agnostics and animists. Oh my. Hidden visions, iconographies of alterity in Soviet bloc illustrations for The Lord of the Rings. Question of caste in The Lord of the Rings and its multiple Chinese translations. Stars Less Strange, an analysis of fan fiction and representation within the Tolkien fan community. Something Mighty Queer. Destabilizing cis-hetero amatonormativity in the works of Tolkien. Translations as a means of representation and diversity in Tolkien scholarship and fandom. What do you make of the Tolkien Society making their second seminar of 2021 about Tolkien and diversity? I think that humanity has reached its peak, and people in the developed world, in Europe, in America, Australia, in the civilized world, they have plenty of everything. We have a lot of food, we have a lot of things to drink, we have comfortable houses, we have jobs, we can afford beautiful things, we have a lot of leisure time, we have become spoiled. People, I don't really, consider myself one of these people. And that's why they have time to think of bullshit. They are looking for something to fight for. They are looking for something that they can, be talking about all day, every day, because they have plenty. They live in plenty. They don't have to fight for survival, for food, for drink every day. So that's why people construct problems like feminism, diversity, inclusion, representation, things that are absolutely irrelevant for The Lord of the Rings, absolutely irrelevant for Tolkien, absolutely irrelevant for anything that has anything to do with Tolkien's Arda stories. And I'm only glad I left academia, because I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I had to do these things. So yeah, people, do whatever you want. I don't give a fuck about you. You have caused this yourselves. And these things, they will only lead to further downfall of human race. And that will be all from me. Thank you very much for watching. I shall proceed and write my own things, crowdfund my own short story collections and my own poetry collections. Good old conservative literature. And I will read good old conservative literature and watch good old films. And I will care about the world even less, because it only makes me feel nauseated. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. See you soon, and Maria.